You've used a pre-trained model today, probably more than once. You just didn't call it that. Every time you asked ChatGPT something, got a smart reply suggestion in Gmail, or watched a support chat answer instantly. You were talking to a model somebody else trained, months or years before you opened the app. You didn't train it. So who did? And here's the thing. That's actually just one of three completely different questions hiding behind every AI model you'll ever use. Was it pre-trained by someone else or trained from scratch? Is it open source, where you can see and download everything? Or closed, where you only ever talk to it through an API? And once you've got it, where does it actually run? Your own laptop, your own servers, or someone else's cloud? Three questions, three genuinely different ideas. And today we are doing all three properly, one at a time. By the end, you'll be able to place any model on the planet. GPT-4, Llama, Krutrim, all of it. Welcome everyone to lesson 7 of the Tech Intern. Today, the three types of models every AI engineer needs to know. Let's get into it. Quick recap because this builds on both of the last two episodes. Remember the split from 2 episodes ago? The ML engineer who trains models and the AI engineer who builds products using models that already exist. Today we're zooming into that second half of the sentence, and it splits cleanly into 3 parts. Part 1, where the model came from. Part 2, whether you can see inside it. Part 3, where it actually runs. Let's take them one at a time, starting with part 1. Part 1. Did someone else already train this model, or are you building it from zero? Let's start with the word itself, because it's more literal than people expect. Trained means what we covered last time. A model that went through the full training loop. Fed data, made predictions, got corrected, adjusted its weights millions or billions of times until it got good at a task. Pre just means before. Before you showed up. Before your product existed. Somebody, a research lab, usually trained this model once on a massive general dataset, then froze it, packaged it, and made it available for anyone to use. You're not starting from zero. You're starting from a model that's already read a meaningful chunk of the internet and already knows how language works. Here's the part that actually explains the why. Remember the numbers from last episode? Training a frontier model something like GPT-4 class costs hundreds of millions of dollars. Thousands of GPUs, months of dedicated compute. Now ask yourself, if you are a startup building a customer support chatbot, does it make sense for you to spend hundreds of millions of dollars just to get a model that can hold a conversation? Of course not. And here's the thing, you don't have to. Someone already built that model. All that upfront cost was paid once, and now it's reusable by everyone. Training from scratch has a massive fixed cost. Using a pre-trained model has almost none. The industry restructured itself around that gap. Let's make this concrete with something you've probably used. Say a fintech app in India. Think along the lines of a PhonePe or a Razorpay. Wants an AI assistant that can answer why was my payment declined. 10 years ago, this would have meant hiring an ML team and training a custom model for months. Today, the AI engineering team picks a pre-trained model, GPT-4o, Claude, whichever fits, and calls it through an API. Their job is just to give it the company's context, refund policies, tone of voice, and wire it in. No training, no GPUs. A working prototype in days. Now to be fair, training from scratch hasn't disappeared. It's just rare and concentrated in a very specific place. Take Krutrim, Ola's AI venture. Unlike the fintech example we just walked through, Krutrim built its own foundation model from scratch, trained on Indian languages specifically, usually one of a few reasons. The existing pre-trained models don't cover your domain well enough, or owning the model itself is a strategic bet. Everyone else, the overwhelming majority of AI engineering work, builds on top of what already exists. And that's part 1, answered pre-trained almost always. But knowing where a model came from tells you nothing about what you're actually allowed to do with it once you have it. That's part 2. Part 2. Can you actually see what's inside this model? Or only ever talk to it from the outside? Some companies keep the actual model, the weights, the file itself, entirely private. You send a request over the internet. You get a response back. But the model itself never leaves their servers. You can't download it, inspect it, or run it yourself. That's a closed model. GPT-4, Claude, and Gemini all work this way. Other labs do the opposite. They publish the actual weights publicly. Anyone can download the file, run it, take it apart, retrain it. Meta's Llama, Mistral, DeepSeek. These are open models. Think of it like a recipe. A closed model is a restaurant that will cook you the dish beautifully. But you never get the recipe, so every time you want it, you're back at their table. An open model hands you the actual recipe. Cook it wherever you want, forever. Same starting point, a pre-trained model. Completely different relationship with the person using it. One you rent, one you own. Why would any company give away something that cost them millions of dollars to build? Open models let you run things offline or somewhere with strict data privacy rules. Nothing leaves your building. They let you fine-tune without asking permission. And if the company behind it disappears tomorrow, you still have the model. It's yours. Closed models trade that away for the single best performing model available, maintained by a team with far more compute than you'll ever have, with zero infrastructure headache. Neither one is better. Picking the wrong site for your use case is a genuinely expensive mistake. Let's make this concrete too. Say an Indian bank wants AI for fraud detection, flagging suspicious transactions in real time. Customer financial data is some of the most sensitive data that exists, and Indian regulations require a lot of it to stay within the country on infrastructure the bank actually controls. A closed model like GPT-4 doesn't work here. Every request would mean sending financial data to a server outside their control. So the bank reaches for an open model instead, something like Llama or Mistral, and runs it entirely on their own infrastructure. Nothing leaves the building. Same starting point as the fintech support bot from part 1. A pre-trained model. Completely different choice because the stakes were different. And notice what just happened. The moment they chose open, a brand new question showed up. Where exactly do they run it? That's part 3. Part 3. You've got the model file. So where does it actually run? For the bank, this one simple. Self-host on their own infrastructure, full stop. Outside infrastructure was never an option. But for most companies choosing an open model, this is a real decision. If a model is closed, this question barely exists. It only ever runs on the company's own servers. An open model gives you an actual choice. Option 1. You run it yourself. Rent or buy your own GPUs. Run it on your own servers, or even run smaller models locally on your laptop with something like Llama. Full control, full responsibility. Option 2. You let someone else run that exact same open model for you. Companies like Grok or Together AI host popular open models on their own infrastructure. You get an API again for convenience, but because their model is open, you're never locked into that one provider. It's the recipe analogy again. You've got the recipe either way. This question is just deciding whose kitchen you cook it in. So here's the whole map in one picture. Part 1. Is it pre-trained? Almost always, yes. Part 2. Is it open or closed? Part 3. Only if it's open. Where does it actually run? GPT-4 and Claude. Pre-trained, closed. Part 3 doesn't even apply because it only ever runs on their servers. The bank from part 2, pre-trained, open, self-hosted, control at every step. Llama and Mistral in general, pre-trained, open, and from there you choose self-host or a third-party host like Grok. And Krutrim, trained from scratch, not pre-trained at all, sitting all the way at the very first fork on its own. 3 parts. Every model you'll ever hear about fits somewhere on this tree. So here's the mental model to walk away with. Default to pre-trained. Training from scratch is the rare exception. Default to closed if you just want the best available model with zero infrastructure work. Reach for open only when you need control, privacy, customization, or independence from any one vendor. Once you are there, self-hosting versus a third-party host is just how much infrastructure you personally want to own. 3 parts. That's genuinely the whole map. So the next time someone on your team says, we're using Llama, or we call the GPT-4 API, or we trained our own model, you'll know exactly what they mean and exactly what they gave up to get there. And here's one for you. Of the 3, which one is your team actually shipping with? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. Subscribe and stay with us. There's a lot more coming this season.